Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the new Cosmic Knowledge Channel. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, and welcome to the place where we smash paradigms and bash envelopes and stretch concepts. We take you boldly where no person has gone before in the realms of spirituality. But to tell you the truth, we're really taking you back to that which everyone has forgotten, because it's real simple. The messages that I give you, the messages that I bring as I take a nice sip of distilled water, they're really nothing new. Well, that's not completely true, but a lot of them are not nothing new. We're just bringing sexy back. We're bringing back the message of the apostles that has laid in abeyance for some 2,000 years, but every now and then we do come up with some new wow. I'm telling you, some really new wow. And if you have not seen the show yet with Sandra D'Angelo that we just did called Serpent and Dove, we're going to be doing that every Wednesday. Man, let me tell you, you want to talk about revelation knowledge. I think one of the great, thank you, Brent in Virginia, one of the great revelations of the past 50 years in spirituality was brought to our attention by Sandra D'Angelo as the new cosmic kitten. You see him there in the background, Rooney Tooney. And it was just amazing. It was powerful. Yeah, let me clear everything for you because this is all about you, mister. Wow. And you need to watch that show, Serpent and Dove. It's on the site. And I'm going to tell you something. It's really, really powerful. I'm about ready to put in a new MYSTECH order. So if you want to get in on this new MYSTECH order that goes in today, simply go to my website, which is jeffreydaugherty.com. You can see the new cosmic knowledge header. And if you're in the Central Florida area, or you're going to be, meet me at Casadega, Florida. That's the Casadega Spiritualist Encampment for the Gala Day, which is May 12th. I'll be under the MYSTECH tent. We'll have the rods there for sale. We will have MYSTECH there. And of course, MYSTECH is the thing that has changed my life. I wear them. They give me more energy with half the sleep. That's what I've got on both hands. Check them out. You can go here, just click on this green link. You can see all the different products that we have. And if you decide that some of these products are for you, and that's totally, up to you. We don't try to push you. We don't try to shove you. We're not above giving you a gentle little nudge now and then. But go back over here, hit the donate button. And if you see the following, if you see MYSTECH Bands by Jeffrey Daugherty, you have just saved yourself 20%. That's a lot of money. You've saved yourself 20%, and you have enabled me to keep going to Coral Castle, keep going to the Georgia Guidestones, keep going to Vero Beach, and we're headed to Key West, St. Augustine, New Orleans, Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. These things would not happen without you helping me, without you getting a hold of MYSTECH. And it's, yes, you're helping yourself, but you're helping me help you. And I really do appreciate you folks very, very much. Ellie Orr caught the end of the show with Sandra. Watch it. It is incredible. Now we're back into our study through the New Testament. This has got to be 25, 26 by the time I post it up to Facebook. I'll put which rendition this is. This is the 25th or 26th episode of this series, and we're, at first we weren't dealing with Paul at all. We were just leaving him alone because by my belief and study, he's not a true apostle. It is a different religion, a different philosophy, and I think we're going to see it very, very, very apparent here today as we look into and continue to study through the New Testament. Let me show you what I'm talking about today. And we just finished up 2 Thessalonians. So now we're going in the proper order, and we're going into 1 Corinthians. Now, I know I just blew a bunch of people's minds. They're like, wait a second. You said you're going through the New Testament in order, and you just finished 2 Thessalonians. Now you're going into 1 Corinthians. But I know 1 Corinthians is way before 2 Thessalonians, and you said you're going in order. See, that's part of the secret, my friend. We are the only ones. Believe it or not, this crazy former long-haired Pentecostal evangelist, former long-haired, former Pentecostal evangelist, still crazy, is the only person that's ever produced, to my knowledge, the New Testament in its chronological order. It's called the Diamond New Testament. You can get it on my site. But we go through the New Testament in chronological order because it shows the real development of thought and practice within the New Testament times. It shows what was really going on in that first 100 years with the arrival of the Christ and down through the end of the apostolic era with John, the last apostle, dying. And shameless plug, I have another book, Final Message of the Last Apostle. And go ahead and say that again and see how fast it takes me to kick you out of this thing and block you forever. Hi. I tell you, some people don't have anything better to do because they have no lives. Just a second. Because they have no lives. And we just took care of that loser. All right. So let's take a look now. And, just that kind of brings it up. I have a lot of people that, want to snipe at me from afar. There's a lot of keyboard cowboys that will go on to Amazon, or they'll go on to YouTube, or they'll go on to Facebook, or they'll go on to their fancy schmancy website, and they'll say how stupid I am, what a heretic I am, what a jerk I am. And none of those keyboard cowboys has the stones to meet me in a debate. I don't know. Maybe they need Jay Campbell to talk with them and work with them because they have low testosterone and can't do anything except call names to people. They refuse to engage me personally. Even this pastor in Manhattan wants to say bad things about me. He's a real brave guy when he's on a keyboard, but he won't accept the challenge to actually debate me openly, to face me face to face. And that's the way a cockroach is. And you can't do much. Once a cockroach, always a cockroach. And you got people that sit back in the background and make fun of me and say bad things about me and spread rumors about me. That's okay, guys, girls. I understand that's the way you are. I understand, down here in the South, we have a word for you. It's called yella. We know that you don't have the guts, the testicular fortitude, the moral fortitude to stand up and be counted and actually have and engage in a conversation. I understand that. You don't want to publicly get your butt handed to you. I understand that. That's okay, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let you continue to broadcast your ridiculosity on my outlets. Whatever happened to Chris Putnam, the guy that thought I was as wrong as it could be, but was willing to meet me in debate? Wow, those were some good times. That was a real man. All you people, Tim Keller, the rest of you, you're no Chris Putnams, Marzulli, Clark, all the rest of you, you're no Chris Putnams. And the reason I say that is because what we do is uncover the lies. What we do is uncover the ludicrosities. What we do is uncover the Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, Corinthians conspiracy, because that's not how it was written. It was written James, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Corinthians. That's why we're in 1 Corinthians. And if you followed this series from the beginning, you know that the reason that James wrote the book of James was to tell people, hey, look, Paul's not one of us. He doesn't believe what we believe. He doesn't teach what we teach. We don't endorse him. He's against us. We want you to know that. And the apostles never said, don't listen to Paul. The apostles never said, let's kill Paul. Of course, Paul killed them, killed James. The apostles didn't say anything. They just said, hey, look, here's a dude that's come along. He's preaching something different than we preach. He's teaching something different than we teach. He's espousing a religion that is contradictory to this way of life that we've tried to introduce to you. And when we read through 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, you saw that very clearly. When we read through James, you saw that very clearly. And now here in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, and it still blows my mind. It still blows my mind, even though I have over 100,000 hours of study in the biblical scriptures. Even though I've read the Bible over 100 times, and I've seen this at least 100 times, but today I see it anew and refresh with brand new eyes. And I see that it is a very simple, succinct testimony by Paul of, hey, look, James is right. I'm not one of them. What James is saying is true. We're not teaching the same things. We're not preaching the same things. I'm espousing a new religion. They tried to bring you this way of life. It's Paul saying the apostles of the Christ are wrong. You need to listen to me. Right after James said, we don't agree with Paul. We've got something very different with him. And if you read this, as we are going to right now, word by word, and notice at no time do my fingers leave my hands. I am MYSTECH inspired and fired. And here's Paul. He says, listen, guys, when I came to you, I didn't come with excellency of speech or of wisdom when I declared to you the testimony of God. That's a slap at the apostles. He's saying, look, I'm not one of these fancy schmancy guys that hung out with the Christ coming to you with this excellency of speech. I'm not coming to you with the fancy schmancy wisdom. That's not me. I'm not coming as that guy. Well, Jeff, it seems like you're reading into that. Well, let's see. Am I reading into that? Let's go right here to this interlinear. And if you've forgotten since the last time we talked about this, the interlinear shows exactly the Greek that it was originally written in. And then it comes and shows you exactly the direct English. So you can see everything that a graduate seminarian level Greek scholar can know, you can know. So he says, listen, brothers, I didn't come to you according to excellency of speech. Well, what does excellency of speech means? Let's click on FT. Let's click on 5247. That's the Greek word. And you can pronounce it if you want. I can't. It says, I didn't come to you with superiority. I didn't come to you with preeminence. I didn't come to you with authority. Paul is saying, look, I didn't come to you with this apostolic authority. I didn't come to you with this apostolic excellence. I didn't come to you saying, I'm an apostle, I'm superior. Paul's mocking the apostles. I didn't come to you with this preeminence. We're the apostles of the Christ. He says, look, I didn't come to you as an apostle. I didn't come to you with apostolic authority from the Christ. I didn't come to you with authority from the apostles. I didn't come saying I've got authority from the apostles. That's not me. That's not what I was saying to you. I'm saying, look, I didn't come to you with wisdom, logos. Who's the logos? The Christ. I didn't come to you with this preeminence that we're from the Christ. It's clear. It's crystal clear. Can't you see it? I didn't come to you with this excellency of speech, this preeminence of the logos or the Christ. I didn't come to you with this preeminence of the Christ. Or watch this. Or wisdom. Or what? Sophia. I didn't come to you with the wisdom of the Christ, the logos. I didn't come to you with the insight, wisdom, or intelligence of Sophia. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you months ago that Sophia was the first Christ incarnated in Lilith, the female Christ, the first Christ. I told you that the Logos, or the Word, was the second Christ, the male Christ incorporated. I told you that the last solar eclipse, was the end of Sophia's correction. It was the beginning of the completed Christ. You thought I was crazy. Now here's Paul admitting it. Here's Paul saying it. He's saying, look, I didn't come from this preeminence of the Logos, which is the male Christ, or this message of Sophia, which is the female Christ. I didn't come to you with this message of apostolic superiority. Paul says, they're right. I'm not part of them. And he also says, Darty's right. He's been telling you. Here it is, black and white. Good job, Jeff. Every now and then I like to find myself doing something right. But what I did, ladies and gentlemen, is I didn't proclaim to you this same old excellency that they're talking about of the Logos and of Sophia. We don't need that Logos. We don't need that Sophia. We don't need their completed Christ. And he's going to come back to it in just a second, so watch out. But I came to you proclaiming the testimony. What's a testimony? I came to you bringing the witness. What did Paul witness? Paul witnessed, dude in the sky said, I'm Jesus. Why are you persecuting against me? Now, I've heard some say that he said, why are you kicking me in the gonads? It's not what he said. He said, it's hard for you to kick against the pricks. Pricks didn't mean then what it means now. Go in the Greek, it means those. You ever seen those balls they would swing around? Had the big spikes on them? That's what he was saying. And go kick one of those things and tell me it's not hard to kick against those. It's hard for you to kick against the pricks, bro. Why are you messing with me? So what did Paul witness? Paul witnessed Jehovah, Yahweh, Marduk, false God, fallen God. That's my editorial opinion. But Paul's not talking about the apostolically branded legitimacy of completed Christ, Logos / Sophia. He's saying, no. I'm coming to you with a testimony of that which I witnessed, which was what? What did he witness? It was another God. I'm coming to you not with Logos wisdom, who was the Christ, and every one of you Christians know that Logos is the Christ, the one that walked on the earth for 3.5 years. I still believe, can't prove it, but I believe it. He said, I didn't come to you with Sophia. That's the apostle stuff. They deal with Logos. They deal with Sophia. I'm coming to you to proclaim the witness of this God that I saw. I'll be here all week. That's mic drop. Boom. See you later. That's everything I tell you. The New Testament is jumbled because it's two messages. The message of the apostles, the message of Logos / Sophia, and the message of the witness of Paul's God. Two messages. If you study this, look at this, break it down, and you say, you know what, Jeff, I'm going to go with Paul's testimony. It stood the test of time, 2,000 years. All the great scholars believe it. All the churches are built on it, Jeff. I am going to stand with the Apostle Paul and his religion. I will shake my head, roll my eyes, shake your hand, and say, go for it. I support your right to be wrong. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to get you to consider both sides of the story. But if you say, wait a second, maybe this is why the church is all messed up. Maybe this is why religion is a snare and a racket. Maybe this is why it's a fear and guilt control matrix, because it's not the message of the Logos / Sophia. It's not the message of the Christ. It's not the message of the apostles. Where I'm living, whether I'm going to Baptist, Catholic, Methodist, Nazarene, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Pentecostal, no matter what I'm going to, and include Orthodox, conservative, Judaism, include Islam, Shia, Sunni. It doesn't matter what I'm going to. I'm part of this Pauline Judeo-Christian fear and guilt control matrix plot. That's why they were so against the Christ, because he came with a new message, a Logos Sophia message that they didn't like. And that's why James wrote the first book of the New Testament, James, and said, hey, look, we're bringing a Logos Sophia message. Paul's bringing another message. We want you to know. James is saying the same thing I'm saying. Look, there's two messages. If you believe the other guy, great. But just know other guys teaching A, we're teaching B. Other guys teaching X, we're teaching Y. And have the guts to do the study, have the guts to look at the evidence. And if you decide to go with Paul, go with Paul. But if you want to know that you're adhering to the way of life of the apostles, of the Christ, of the Logos, of Sophia, and it's right there, Logos, Sophia. If you want that, then you don't want any of this, Paul's God. I know that's some heavy stuff. I know that's deep. Let's take a deep breath right now. Let's just take a little deep breath right now. Jeff's handing out triggers left and right. Let's take a little deep breath. Okay. So, says Jackson Co., what Paul is saying is, forget what the apostles say or said about wisdom or the Logos. Just listen to me and what I say about the crucifixion. That's exactly right, Jackson Co. He said in 3 lines what I took 21 minutes and 11 seconds to say. Let me finish this thought. Let's get back to this, because it's going to be even better. We're going to finish this off and it'll be even more powerful. Watch this. Share screen. Okay. So here's Paul. Listen, I didn't come to you talking about the Logos or about Sophia. And you see how the King James Version hides that from you? Paul clearly says, I didn't come talking to you about the preeminence of Logos or of Sophia. Why did they do that? Because they know that there's Sandra D'Angelo's out there. There's Jeffrey Darty's. There's Rex Bears. There's Wayne Steigers. There's Trisha Gelders. There's Heidi Vandenbergs and Jenny Moonstones and Dan Overwatch Channels and lots and lots of other people that I always forget, and I'm sorry. And the thousands of people that watch and listen to them that know that if he just said, I didn't come to you with the preeminence of Logos and Sophia, I came to you to talk to you about my God, you'd walk away. Wait a minute. Something within me says that I want to hear what the Logos has to say. Something within me says I want to hear what Sophia has to say. And something within me says I don't really care about the witness of your God, Paul. But then Paul goes on and he says, look, I determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. And I mean, the Christians, they love, oh, glory, 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 Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, Kawasaki. They go, oh man, they love that stuff. And if you're speaking in light language, it's the same archonic virus that Pentecostal glossolalia is. Did I say that out loud or did I just think it? We'll get into that. I determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. Why? Why? And I came to you with fear and trembling. Are you starting to see a pattern? And my speech wasn't with wisdom, Sophia, but it was power. That your faith shouldn't stand in wisdom, but in the power of Paul's God, which is what? Jesus Christ and him crucified. You see what I'm talking about? Let's break it down. Let's break it down. So I decided not to know anything among you. And it's interesting that Paul decided, and Paul decided something different than the apostles decided, obviously. Paul decided he was just going to talk about Jesus Christ. Somebody said in the chat room, how could he be talking about Jesus Christ when there was no J? Good question. And him having been crucified. What does that mean, having been crucified? Destroyed, mortified, crucified, sacrificed. So I decided, even though the apostles are teaching the Logos, the living Christ, they're teaching Sophia, wisdom, the completed Christ, I decided to focus on the witness of my God. And my God doesn't want to talk about anything except a crucified Jesus Christ. What are the central things in crucified Jesus Christ? Let's think about this. What are the central things about the crucified Christ? What are these central things about the crucified Christ? Well, number one, he was crucified. Why was he crucified? Because you were bad. If you hadn't been such a dirty, rotten sinner, he wouldn't have had to be crucified. If you hadn't been such a rotten, filthy, horrible person, he wouldn't have had to been crucified. And because he was crucified, because you were a horrible person, you got to have that blood sacrifice if you want to get right. Fear, guilt, control, matrix. Human sacrifice, blood sacrifice, dead guy Jesus on a stick, or just dead guy stick, depending upon the church you go to. Watch this. If that wasn't clear enough, Paul goes on to say, I'm talking about only Jesus and him crucified, and I'm talking about Jesus and him crucified only because of what? Because of weakness, fear, and trembling with you. You're weak because you got original sin. You should be in fear because you killed him. You should be trembling, worrying if you're ever going to be able to get right, afraid of going to a place called hell, because Paul is preaching nothing but dead guy Jesus on a stick. That's all he's preaching. And the apostles came preaching the preeminence of Logos and Sophia. Paul said, get that Sophia out of my face. Get that Logos out of my face. And I say, get that Paul out of my face. What do you say? Essay? Wow. And Paul says, I didn't come giving you enticing words of man's wisdom. What does he mean? Enticing words of man's wisdom. I didn't come giving you enticing words of man's wisdom. I came giving you weakness, fear, and trembling, because it's easy to control somebody that has weakness, fear, and trembling. Not so easy to control somebody whose life is filled with persuasive words of wisdom. What's he talking about exactly? Persuasive. Persuasive. Enticing. Skillful. Persuasive. I think I just got an important message here. Dan just posted a video. He'll be going live with you tonight. No, Dan. Thursday night, my brother. Thursday night. Not tonight. Thursday night. Thursday night. Abort, Dan. Abort. Pull up. Thank you, Sandra. Oops, and now I'm sharing my whole thing. Paul says, I don't want you having anything persuasive, enticing, or skillful. Persuasive, enticing, and skillful is bad, especially when it's boom, shakalaka, boom. Look at this. Look at what Paul said. I did not come to you preaching persuasive wisdom of Sophia and Logos. He shoots, he scores. Paul said, this is amazing. I've never seen this. Paul said, I did not come to you preaching Sophias and Logo. I didn't come to you preaching the Christ. I didn't want you to have anything to do with the Christ. I wanted you in fear and trembling and worry. My message was not the persuasive words of Sophia and Logos. My message was not. the message of the Christ, but the demonstration of power. The demonstration, what does that mean? You see that? What's it mean? Showing off. I didn't come with Sophia wisdom. I didn't come with Logos wisdom. I came showing off. No, Dan, it's tonight at Thursday at 11. I'll get with him. I just came showing off. I just came showing off. Showing off what? The Spirit. What was I showing off? I'll show you what he was showing off. What was he showing off? His own power. Marvelous works. Oh. I didn't come giving you wisdom of Logos. I didn't come giving you wisdom of Sophia. I didn't come giving you that kind of wisdom that the apostles gave you. I came in the power of my God, and I came showing off. I came showing off what? I came showing off marvelous works. I came showing off some marvelous works. Did the Christ have anything to say about this? Did the apostles have anything to say about this type of a situation? I'm closing with this. I've never felt so good. I tell you what, hanging out with Sandra is good stuff, man. It gets you in the right place. Matthew 7:23. Let's read this whole thing in the King James Version. Bless God. Let's read this. Paul is so busted. Paul is so busted. Remember, Paul said, I came to you doing wonderful works. I came to you doing wonderful works. I didn't bring you that Sophia stuff. I didn't bring you that logo stuff that the apostles was bringing you. I came here bringing you wonderful works. Here's Matthew, who was an apostle, and he said, not everybody that says, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is Lord, is going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, but the one that does the Logos and the Sophia. Now, there's a lot of people out there saying, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is Lord. And what did they do? Cast out devils and did many wonderful works. What did Paul say he did? He didn't bring Sophia. He didn't bring Logos. What did he say he brought? Many wonderful works. And what did the apostle of the Christ, come on, work with me. What did the apostle of the Christ say that the Christ would say? I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. And what this really means in the Greek is, I never knew you because you departed from me through your work of iniquity. Verse 23, I'll prove it to you. I don't blame you for saying, wait a minute, Jeff, show it to me. You depart from me working lawlessness. Stay calm and trust the artist formerly known as CWB, now NCK. I never knew you because you departed from me through your works of lawlessness. Wow. Somewhere, sometime, there might be some better doctrine. There might be some better truth being dropped on you than what you've heard on this channel today. Maybe somewhere at some time, but whew, I tell you what, I tend to doubt it. What you heard today from Sandra D'Angelo. What you're hearing now? Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. You've listened to me ramble for 35 minutes. I'm going to run back through the chat room real quickly, as far back as I can go, answer some questions. Unstance, meow's it going, everyone? I'm doing fine, meow, bro. Loved your show with Sandra. Thank you. Really great dynamics. Sandra says, hey, y'all. Little girl from Massachusetts saying, hey, y'all. That's kind of funny. Paul is basically the Jehovah philosophy, while the Christ is the Baal study almost. Jesus is, not the Christ, Brent, I would say. It's like trying to figure out the order of the Fast and Furious series. I don't know what that is. Sandra says it's called being a coward. Yes. I need Jeff's fact sheet on Apostle versus Paul. Just ask for it. Where's the MYSTECH band? Haven't heard anything after paying. Sent 2 emails. Well, number one, I have a email that you can actually send emails to. Number 2, I have a website you can actually send emails to. It's kind of rude to come into my social media in the middle of a show and start talking like that. So tell me when you purchased it. And if there's anything wrong, we'll make it right. Take a deep breath, and please don't be rude. Ain't history fun? Even in Jewish myth, Sophia was created first. Interesting. Oh my God, Lilith not killing. Yeah. I don't know if I believe he saw anything. He said he did. But you got to wonder if Paul wasn't an infiltrator for the Roman Empire. He was indeed, Julia. You're right on. Julia, he wasn't actually a tax collector. He was a tent maker for the Roman army, but you're on the right path. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Thank you. They hide things to keep us from truth. Knowing the truth sets you free. Absolutely. Divide and conquer. That's what they want. They created the problem and only they have the solution. Problem, reaction, solution. Stephen Holloway feels what I'm saying. I like it. How come all the religions want us on our knees? Shakes my head. You know why. Paul even pretended to be Jesus. He did. That's good stuff. Who was that? Ronnie B or Roni B? Smart person. I felt this way my whole life. Mystic Mama, I'm just going to have to say goodbye to her. Be nice. I came to this channel because of your vids. CWB didn't trouble me. You have solid information in the New Testament. I appreciate the time and scrutiny you put into this. Thank you. Thank you very much. And there we go. And there we go. It's up to you. Who do you trust? Hubba hubba. Who do you trust? Tomorrow night, Consequential Rapscallions with Dan from Overwatch Channel. Scotty Roberts, the regular Rapscallion. Big doings this weekend. Powerful stuff. I really have nothing to add to that. Again, it's not about what you believe, but it's about you getting all the facts before you make a decision that will not only affect this life. I'll say this person is a troll. That's okay. Well, bye. And to the rest of you, you are the Gospel Truth Army. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. Nice to know you. I think I have traveled to the times when Jesus lived. We'll talk about that someday. And until next time, be your own guru, guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, and unindoctrinate yourself.